What is the real cost to start a commercial greenhouse in Nigeria? And what's the smarter financial move? Starting small with one unit or going big with a full acre from day one. One of these plans costs 13 million naira and the other costs 90 million naira. Most people will tell you to start small, but what if that's actually the less profitable, riskier advice? I have built a complete 5 years financial model for both scenarios, and today we are going to compare them side by side. The bank ready SME plan versus the investor grade 1 acre plan. This is part two of my tomato series, and I want to say thank you to all my subscribers. This video is based on your request. Today, we are building a high-tech model, and as always, a strong model is built on strong assumptions. And that's where we are going to begin our analysis today. So, let's get to it. So, this is our assumptions tab. First, we are modeling for a 1 acre farm. 1 acre is around 4,047 square meters. And of course, the farming system we are modeling for is for the greenhouse. And we have assumed that a unit of the greenhouse measures 8 by 48 meters. This gives us an area of 384 square meters per greenhouse. Instead of one giant structure, we have assumed that we'll be using 8 units of the greenhouse. This brings us to a total planting area of 3,072 square meters. So we are not using up all the 4,047 square meters for the greenhouse operations. Next is our planting strategy. Based on my research from a PhD research paper that sampled real Nigerian farmers, we are using a high density short cycle model. This means that we are planting 4 plants per square meters, giving us a total plant population of 12,288 plants on our 1 acre farm. In terms of the production cycle, we have assumed that a cycle duration will last for 6 months, and from year two onwards, we will have 2 cycles per year, but for year one, we will only have 1 cycle. We have assumed that the first 6 months of the year will be used to set up the greenhouses and all of that. So the later part will be used for the production of the tomatoes. And for our yield, we are using a realistic commercial target of 10 kg per plant per cycle. This gives us a target harvest of 122,880 kg in 1 cycle. For 2 cycles, we'll have 245,760 kg. As in the open field tomato farm model that we did previously, we have 3 market price scenarios. The glut season price at 4,000 naira per 25 kg crate, the mid-season price at 12,000 naira per 25 kg crate, and the scarcity season price at 25,000 naira per 25 kg crate. We have also assumed an inflation rate of 15% across all the costs and the selling price of tomatoes. In terms of the upfront cost, we have assumed a unit cost of 9.3 million naira for one greenhouse, and we'll be needing 8 of that. Each of the greenhouse measures 8 by 48 meters, and from what I learned, this cost is inclusive of the construction and irrigation setup. For borehole drilling, we have assumed a cost of 1 million naira. We have also assumed a cost of 1 million naira for the fertigation system. This is for a semi-automatic fertigation system. And from what I learned, some greenhouse vendors do provide manual fertigation system if they are setting up the irrigation system for you. So you might not incur this cost if you want a manual fertigation system. For soil testing, we have assumed a cost of 60,000 naira. And for farm equipment, we have assumed a cost of 110,000 naira. For staking materials, we have assumed a cost of 290,000 naira. For harvesting materials, that is the crates that will be used throughout the farming process in the greenhouse, we have assumed a unit cost of 8,000 naira, and I've also assumed that we'll be needing 450 crates. For seedling tray, we have assumed a cost of 1,500 naira, and I've also assumed we'll be needing 295 units of that. In terms of the operating cost, we have assumed that we'll be needing one farm manager at a monthly salary of 250,000 naira. We would also be needing an agronomist at a monthly salary of 150,000 naira. We'll be needing 8 additional staff at a monthly salary of 80,000 naira each. For other costs, we have assumed that we'll be needing 19 packs of the ANA F1 variety, and one pack has approximately 800 seeds and it costs 16,000 naira per pack. We have assumed a cost of 1.5 million naira for fertilizers and manure. We have also assumed a cost of 750,000 naira for pesticides. We have also assumed a cost of 900,000 naira for fuel and utilities, and have assumed that the land used for this greenhouse operation will be rented and at a cost of 50,000 naira. Please bear in mind that all of these costs will vary based on your location and other factors. So now we come to the cost analysis. This is where we have put everything together. I have built this model for two types of entrepreneurs. On the right is for someone who is starting with one greenhouse of 8 by 48 meters, and on the left is for someone who is starting with 8 greenhouses on a 1-acre farm. The upfront cost for setting up 8 greenhouses on a 1-acre farm is 80,902,500 naira. This is all the cost you would incur to set up 8 greenhouses, from the greenhouse structure down to the seedling tray. For the operating cost, in year one, you have a total of 9,744,000, which gives us a total cost of 90,646,500 in year one. In year two onwards to down to year five, you won't incur any other upfront cost. But in terms of the operational expenses, you would still incur cost. In year two, you have an operational cost of 22,353,700. So this cost continues down to the year five. And as you can see, the bulk of the expenses was in year one. This included the upfront cost and the operational cost, giving us a total of 90,646,500 naira. For someone starting off with just one greenhouse measuring 8 by 48 meters, the upfront cost is 10,935,562 naira. So this includes all the costs from the greenhouse structure down to the seedling trays. In terms of the operational expenses, for year one, you have 2,461,750 naira, and the operational expenses continues down to the year five. So at the end of year one, we have a total cost of 13,397,312 naira. So what this means is that to set up one greenhouse of 8 meters by 48 meters, you would need 13,397,312 naira. While to set up 8 greenhouses, you will need a total cost of 90,646,500 naira. Now let's see what the per cycle analysis is. both for the 8 greenhouses and a one single greenhouse. Now, this is what the per cycle analysis for 8 greenhouses on a 1 acre farm looks like. So the cycle duration is 6 months and the yield is 122,880 kg. This brings us to a total of 4,915 25 kg crates, and the operating expenses is around 9,744,000 naira. So in terms of the profitability analysis, if we look at the glut market, which is the worst case scenario, we see that we make a revenue of 19,660,800 naira. And this gives us a net profit of 9,916,800 naira. For the mid-market scenario, where the selling price is 12,000 naira per 25 kg crate, we see that we make a gross revenue of over 58 million naira, leaving us with a profit of over 49 million naira. For the scarcity market scenario, which is a best case scenario, this is when the prices of tomato is the highest, we see a gross revenue of over 122 million naira and a profit of over 113 million naira. This tells us that even in the worst case scenario where there is glut and where the prices of tomato is really low, the greenhouse farming is profitable. For the case of the farmer with only one greenhouse, this is what the analysis looks like. The yield per cycle is 15,360 kg per cycle, which gives us a total of 614 25 kg crates. And the operational cost is over 2 million naira. In terms of the profitability analysis, we can see that in the glut market scenario, where the price is as low as 4,000 naira per 25 kg crate, there is a gross revenue of 2,457,600 naira. And at the end of the glut market season, we have a net loss of 4,115 naira. For the mid-market scenario, where the price is 12,000 naira per 25 kg crate, we see a gross revenue of 7,372,800 naira, leaving us with a profit of 4,911,000 naira. For the scarcity market scenario, where the prices is 25,000 naira per 25 kg crate, we see a gross revenue of over 15 million naira and a profit of over 12 million naira. Again, this tells us that a greenhouse farming is quite profitable, although when prices were really low, we made a loss. But in the case of the farmer with 8 greenhouses, when prices were really low at 4,000 naira, they still were able to make a profit of over 9 million naira. And I would say this is due to economies of scale. Now let's look at the year by year analysis. For the one greenhouse farm, let's call this the bank ready SME. The total year one cost, that is the capital expenditure plus operational expenditure, is 13,397,312 naira. Now, this is your ask from the bank. Now, if we look at the net profit, we will see a loss of over 6 million naira. A banker will trust this model because it proves you understand that heavy first year costs are real. But if you look at year two, when we start running two full cycle, we see a net profit of over 11 million naira. And by year three, the profit jumps to 13 million naira and continues to increase significantly from there on. Now, for the payback period, we have calculated this to be 1.5 years, that is 18 months. This is a fantastic number. You are telling a lender that if you give me this 13 million naira loan, my business will generate enough cash to pay you back in 18 months. This is a highly bankable, manageable project. So let's call these 8 greenhouses on a 1 acre farm the investor grade plan. So in terms of the total investment for year one, we have a total cost of 90,646,500 naira. For the net profit, again, we see a loss of 31,664,000 naira. So for this massive investment of over 90 million naira, we see a payback period of 1.3 years. This is a little over 15 months, which tells us that the break-even year is year two, with a return on investment of 660%. While for the one house grain farm, we see a payback period of 1.5 years. This is 18 months, which tells us that the break-even year is year two and the return on investment is 480%. So in both scenarios, the break-even year is year two. So which one is better? The 13 million naira plan or the 90 million naira plan? My analysis is that they are for two different goals. The one unit 30 million naira plan is the perfect bank ready project. It's your proof of concept. It's what you take to a microfinance bank, the bank of industry, or a private lender to get your foot in the door. The 8 unit 90 million naira plan, on the other hand, is the investor grade blueprint. This is what you show to a development finance institution, a private equity firm, or a group of high net worth individuals looking to invest. So you are showing them that you are not just a farmer, but that you are building a serious, scalable, high profitable industrial food company. If you are just starting out, I would say you should use the 13 million naira model to get your first loan. Run it for 2 years to build a track record. Then after the 2 years, you will walk into an investor's office, not with an idea, but with a proven success. You are saying to them that I have successfully built and run this one unit model for 24 months, and here is my perfect repayment history. I am now raising 90 million naira to replicate this proven success 8 times over. That is how you get funded. Now you will notice in my model that I have calculated the payback period, but I haven't added the bank loan itself. So in another video, I will show you step by step how to take this exact model and add a formal loan schedule that a banker will want to see. So make sure you are subscribed for that. After this tomato series, I will be analyzing the greenhouse bell peppers farming as requested by a subscriber. Following that will be the palm oil business analysis, also requested by a subscriber. Thank you also very much for your likes and comments. And thank you also for watching this video. If you found it valuable, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I will see you in my next one.